aunt loves to joke around. At the formal dinner where both families met for the first time, she raised her glass and made a toast. Xiao Fu is truly a blessing for our family, but my niece here has been indiscreet since she was young. She even had an abortion as a minor. We relatives were all worried sick about her marriage prospects. Just kidding, just kidding. I was only trying to liven things up. Don't misunderstand. In my previous life, I tried desperately to defend myself, insisting that I had never done any such thing. She made a series of snide remarks. Right. You've never done such things. That blonde-haired guy you secretly brought home in the middle of the night when you were 15 was fake, and the condom in the trash was also fake. These words completely unsettled Fu Nian's parents. Even Fu Nian's gaze toward me was tinged with suspicion. Amid the torrent of gossip and rumors, I fell into depression and took my own life. Living my life over again, I returned once more to the moment of her address. I just like to joke around. I stopped Fu Nian, who couldn't help but rise to leave, a mocking cold smile curling on my lips. Go on, when you're done talking, I'll throw in a few jokes too. When the truth turns the whole place upside down, I'm curious to see if your jokes can save lives. My aunt envies my mom for marrying well, unable to match her in circumstances. She constantly tries to put her down subtly with words. When she makes someone angry, she just says she's joking, and accuses them of being petty and unable to take a joke. But my mom feels sorry for my aunt, who lost her husband early, raised my older cousin alone, and is her only remaining relative after their parents passed away. She believes whatever her aunt says, which only makes the aunt become even more brazen. When I took the college entrance exam, she joked that I cheated. When I got promoted, she joked that I was the leader's mistress, and my anxious, sweaty attempts to defend myself seemed to be an emotional catalyst for her, giving her a kind of twisted elevation. After one joke after another, I no longer dared to let my aunt know anything about me, and even started hiding things from my mom. Even when I was dating Fu Nian, I only let her come for a meeting at the very last moment. I originally didn't want my aunt to come, but my mom thought that since her only daughter was getting married, her only sister absolutely had to be there. I repeatedly urged my mom along the way to keep an eye on my aunt, but unexpectedly, she still fell back into her old habits. My aunt probably didn't expect me, who usually wouldn't dare say an extra word, to be this defiant today. She was taken aback. My cousin immediately stepped up to defend her mother. Is this the attitude you use when talking to an elder? Aunt, how many times have I told you not to spoil your niece so much? Can't elders even make a joke anymore? I held my mother down, staring at her intently. Not at all. Auntie just loves to joke around, doesn't she? I'm just going along with your wishes, letting you get a few more laughs in. Is that not allowed? When exactly did I get pregnant, and when did I have the abortion? Go ahead and tell everyone in detail, so we can all have a good laugh. My aunt thought I was just being defiant, and a flicker of contempt passed through her eyes. Stop messing around, we're right in front of her parents. If you're not embarrassed, I am. I didn't bring up that blonde guy on purpose. You know what your aunt is like. Seeing that I was still staring at her, she said with a feigned helplessness, Fine. I didn't see that blonde guy taking you to a hotel, and I didn't see him taking you to the OBGYN. Satisfied. As soon as he finished speaking, he seemed to realize he had misspoken again and quickly turned to Fu Nian's parents with an apologetic look. Look at me and my big mouth. Every time I open it, I forget what should and shouldn't be said. Please don't misunderstand, my dear in-laws. I was just rambling. Every word about that yellow-haired guy was made up. The entire private room fell into an eerie silence. The few relatives brought by the Fu family to show their regard for me were now sitting together whispering. Who would have thought? Fu Nian is into this type. Even his own family says so. It must be true. Such a young girl dared to go to a hotel with a dyed-hair punk. Who knows how wild she might get outside. Fu Nian, sitting next to me, clenched his fists tightly, as if about to explode at any moment. Fu Nian's mother couldn't stand the gossip any longer. She slammed her hand on the table. Smack. Zhang Qinghe, what exactly is going on here? Even if my Fu Nian isn't the best, he's not about to marry a woman with a tainted reputation. You have to give our Fu Nian an explanation today. I turned my head to look at Fu Nian, and thinking about what they had done, a flicker of mockery flashed in my eyes. Still, I chose to play along with their act for now. Fu Nian, we're the ones in this relationship. You know better than anyone what kind of person I am. Do you really believe a few casual jokes from a relative? Fu Nian's brows were tightly furrowed, clearly still struggling. But my aunt, as if afraid I wouldn't be crushed hard enough, added another remark, "Why are you asking Xiaofu? He's an honest kid, unlike you lot who've been running wild since childhood and are full of tricks. Just tell me, did you sneak off to the gynecology department behind your mother's back when you were 15? The whole room's eyes were on me, like hungry wolves ready to feast on my confession and satisfy their nosy gossip. Fu Nian looked at me, his gaze full of suspicion and interrogation, tinged with a hint of anger and despair. Go on, didn't you say you've only been in love once from childhood to now? Why aren't you denying it? I looked at him calmly, my tone even and unruffled. When I was 15, I did go to the obstetrics and gynecology department. A wave of murmurs swept through the private room. My mother covered her face in shame. My father was so furious he wanted to hit someone. Li Shufan, the hell is wrong with you, spouting such nonsense? Xiao He went to the gynecology department for a medical condition. Hearing this, Ms. Li rolled her eyes speechlessly. She goes to see a gynecologist but doesn't bring her own mother along. Instead, she has some punk guy accompany her. Then she sighed again, smiled, and looked at Fu Nian's parents. But that's all in the past. My Qinghe has long since changed. Now she's just a mistress to a leader and sleeps with clients here and there, all for the money. The gynecological issues are just an occupational hazard. You two should be understanding. Fu Nian's father turned his head away, unwilling to deal with our family, while his mother gasped heavily. What decent person has a gynecological disease as an occupational hazard? Tired of playing around? Now you want to find a steady guy to settle down with. You think Fu Nian is easy to bully, don't you? Let me tell you, I've seen plenty of gold-digging sluts like you. Fu Nian completely lost it. He suddenly stood up, knocking over the chair behind him, which hit the floor with a bang. He kicked my chair, making me face him. Didn't you keep insisting that you and your boss were innocent? You really know how to put on an act, Zhang Qinghe. I can't believe I trusted and admired you so much. So you got your job by trading favors. I stared coldly at the man in front of me and couldn't help but start to question my own judgment. What did I ever see in him? He has no ability to think for himself. He believes whatever others say, but fine, believe it by all means. The more convinced he is, the more entertaining it will be when the truth finally comes out. My indifferent attitude made Fu Nian feel like he had punched a ball of cotton, only fueling his anger further. Even now, you're still pretending. Do you have no sense of shame at all? I misjudged you. Fu Nian, would rather marry a divorced woman than a wanton woman like you. Fine, I immediately agreed, reaching out to remove the ring from my ring finger. Just what I wanted. Fu Nian's mother immediately said, "We won't be paying for today's wedding banquet. Also, return all the jewelry I gave you. As for the rest of the money Fu Nian spent on you, we'll write it off. Consider it a lesson learned for the Fu family." I decisively took off the jade bracelet from my wrist and the necklace from my neck. Here, take back your jewelry, and don't worry about the wedding banquet, just go straight out the door. One more thing I need to make clear, Fu Nian never spent a single cent on me while we were dating. I paid for everything we ate and drank, and you should be well aware of that. After all, even though Fu Nian is 23, you're still fully in charge of his food, clothing, housing, and transportation. He has to go ask his mom even to spend 50 yuan. As soon as she said that, Fu Nian instantly looked a bit uncomfortable. Fu Nian's mother slammed the table and stood up. What kind of talk is that? Fu Nian is my son, so what if I take care of him? That's still better than someone who had a mother but was raised like an orphan. Dear in-law, you can't really blame her mother. My niece has been hanging out with those delinquents since she was little, never home all day. She really is someone who had a mother but was raised like an orphan. I turned to look at my mother, hoping she would say something, but I forgot that in her previous life, she was indifferent. So why would she help me in this life? What are you looking at your mother for? If you did it, you did it. If you didn't, you didn't. She nudged my mom. Xiaofeng, tell me, wasn't your daughter always hanging out with some blonde-haired kid back in junior high? Didn't she go with him to the obstetrics and gynecology department? I didn't have any expectations for my mom's answer at all. I was just curious whether, once the truth came out, she could still favor my aunt as unwaveringly as before. Under the gaze of everyone present, my mother hesitated for a moment and then replied with one word, yes. With those words from my own mother, I was completely nailed to the pillar of shame. All eyes turned to me, amused and contemptuous. I really thought this auntie was joking, but it turns out it was actually true. It's a good thing there's an honest person in this family. He was probably worried that his niece might come out to deceive others, but since he couldn't say it outright, he used a joke as an excuse. Fu Nian was panting heavily beside him, kicking the dining table. The solid wood dining table trembled violently from his hard kick. Zhang Qinghe, falling for you is the biggest mistake of my life. My aunt and cousin stood by, smug and beaming with satisfaction. My cousin stepped forward to pull Fu Nian away, pretending to speak up for me. Fu Nian, what are you doing? Even though my cousin's body is no longer pure, her feelings for you are real. Her current position no longer requires her to be a leader's mistress or sleep with clients. You can rest assured. Fu Nian brushed her off. Rest assured, why would I, Fu Nian, marry such a slut? Do you see any sign of guilt or regret in her now? She can't even admit to what she's done, so how can you guarantee she won't do something like this again? My cousin quickly turned her head to persuade me. Qinghe, just apologize already, otherwise, Fu Nian won't want you anymore, and then what will you do? Watching the farce before me, I curled my lips disdainfully. Why should I admit fault? Do you have any evidence? My cousin curled her lips smugly and signaled to my aunt with her eyes. My aunt immediately walked over and yanked my jacket. Qinghe, don't blame me for meddling. I'm doing this for your own good. A few days ago, I saw you vomiting and unable to eat. I wanted to check on you, but accidentally found something in your room. She reached into the pocket of my coat, took out a piece of white paper, and handed it to Fu Nian's mother. Take a look, my dear in-law, it's a pregnancy test report. The name and date of birth are all hers. The baby is 3 weeks along. She wants Fu Nian to be the fall guy. Then she pulled out her phone, opened the photo album, and confronted me. This child should be your boss's, right? On May 20th, I saw you checking into a hotel at Lanting with an older man. The aunt giggled and covered her mouth. Just kidding, everyone, don't take it too seriously. Which young girl these days is clean? I keep a very tight leash on my own daughter, afraid she might take one wrong step. She hasn't even been in a relationship yet. And Mom, why are you saying all this? When her cousin noticed Fu Nian looking at her, she shyly pursed her lips and smiled. As soon as the evidence was presented, the whole crowd gasped and broke into a chorus of outrage. A slut like that actually ended up with Fu Nian. What a stroke of bad luck. Shameless. Fu Nian's mother slammed the prenatal test report on the table in anger. Fu Nian, if you don't want your mother meddling in your marriage, just look at the kind of person you've found yourself. Fu Nian felt terrible upon seeing the photo. His eyes reddened as he grabbed my wrist with one hand and choked my neck with the other, shoving me against the wall. So that's why you rejected my date on May 20th. Turns out there was another man you needed to attend to. Did he make you feel good? Does he know what positions you like? So desperate? Should I go find a few strange men to satisfy you right now? I couldn't breathe as he choked me, so I raised my knee and drove it hard into his groin. Fu Nian was clutching a certain unspeakable area, his face flushed red with pain. How dare you hit my son? With a thud, a sharp pain exploded at the back of my head. What fell to the ground was Fu Nian's mother's handbag. My aunt looked at the chaotic scene, and the smugness behind her hand-over-mouth gesture was practically spilling from her eyes. My cousin, worried, supported Fu Nian and turned her head to scold me. Cousin, are you crazy? After doing something like this, instead of immediately begging for mercy on your knees, you actually hit someone. All the Fu family members pointed at me and hurled insults, and the women even shoved me directly. How dare you do something so shameless and still have the nerve to hit someone? If it weren't for this aunt and cousin, wouldn't Fu Nian have ended up marrying a public bus? The aunt pulled me out of the crowd and hypocritically pretended to speak up for me. My niece hasn't been acting up for a long time. She just got a room again yesterday. If you don't believe me, take a look. As he spoke, he directly tore open my collar, exposing one shoulder and most of my chest, which was covered in ambiguous marks that instantly drew every sleazy gaze. Furious, I raised my hand to slap her, but someone suddenly intercepted it mid-air and shoved me back hard. Qinghe, how could you hit your aunt? I staggered back a few steps just to steady myself, looking at my mother, who was shielding my aunt. I could no longer hold back. Mom, why do you always take the side of outsiders? Can't you see they're all bullying me? My mom looked at me with a mix of frustration and disappointment. Outsiders? That's your aunt and your cousin. Your father's relatives are all gone. They're your only support in the future, and the things you've done, don't you deserve to be called out? I'm so ashamed of you. My mind went blank. I was so foolish, having already lived through this once in my past life. I still had to ask, suppressing the bitterness in my heart. I turned to glare coldly at my aunt. I know perfectly well whether I'm pregnant or not. Are you sure that pregnancy test report and those photos are mine? If it turns out they're fake, even if it costs me my life, I'll drag you all to hell. With me, smack, my mother glared at me viciously, as if I were her enemy. Unfilial daughter, even if it was fake, you were the one who lacked propriety first. How dare you threaten your aunt? My aunt put on an act and pretended to persuade my mother. Forget it, it's your fault for indulging them. Chingha, I admit your aunt sometimes jokes inappropriately, but she wouldn't make up something like this to slander you. That item came out of your pocket, it's not like I planted it there. Beforehand, I let out a cold laugh. Fine, very well, a friend is coming over in a bit. Since Auntie loves to joke around, I'll add some fuel to the fire too, the cousin muttered from the side. No matter how much you add, you'll still be the punchline. As soon as she finished speaking, the private room door was suddenly kicked open the moment she saw who it was. The smug expressions on the aunt and cousin's faces froze stiff. A middle-aged woman dragged in a man who was as limp as a dead pig. Followed by a group of relatives, the crowd poured in noisily, instantly shoving the Fu family into a corner. The middle-aged woman dumped the man onto the floor of the private room, planted her hands on her hips, and swept her gaze around. Which slut is calling herself Wu Nana? Someone recognized the man on the ground and let out a startled cry. Isn't this Wang Laosi, the pork seller from the market? How did he end up beaten like this? The man on the ground was bruised and swollen, his clothes covered in footprints, lying there groaning in pain. Fu Nian's mother walked over impatiently. Who do you think you are? Do you really think you can just barge into the Fu family's private room? The middle-aged woman reached out and shoved her, causing Fu Nian's mother to stumble. I don't care who you are. If you're not Wu Nana, shut your mouth, otherwise, my slaps won't show any mercy. Poor Fu Nian's mother had been a lady of leisure her entire life, yet this was the first time she had been so humiliated. She wanted to strike back but couldn't bring herself to lose her dignity. Zhao Jinhua took a photo from her pocket and compared it one by one. The eldest aunt tried her best to hide her trembling cousin behind her. No one here knows Wu Nana. You'd better leave. This is a meeting between both families' parents. Can you afford to take responsibility if you ruin it? Zhao Jinhua let out a cold snort, shoved her aunt aside, and grabbed her cousin by the hair, yanking her out. Her cousin let out a shriek of pain. You think I wouldn't see you just because you're hiding, with that cheap look on your face? I don't even need to see a photo to know it's you. Zhao Jinhua grabbed her by the hair and threw her onto the man lying on the ground. Shameless slut. How old are you? Wang Laosi is 55, covered in flab, and you still let him have you. You really have no standards. She kicked my cousin again and again, causing her to scream in pain and crawl all over the floor. My aunt wanted to help, but was firmly held back by the group Zhao Jinhua had brought. All she could do was shout, "You've mistaken me for someone else. She's not my daughter, it's Zhang Qinghe. If you don't believe me, take a look." The aunt took out the photo she had just shown everyone again. Zhao Jinhua took the phone, looked at me, then at the photo in her hand. The cousin curled up in fear, her hair a messy bird's nest, her kicked face swollen badly, yet she still didn't forget to accuse me. Yes, it's her. Zhang Qinghe is the one messing around with Wang Laosi, and she's also the one carrying Wang Laosi's child. I watched my aunt and cousin playing off each other and smirked disdainfully. Even now, they're still being stubborn. I hope their resolve is as tough as their tongues. Zhao Jinhua looked at the photo, a hint of uncertainty on her face. Tisk, Xiao Lu, take a look at this. What's going on? How can the same photo have different people in it? The young man called Xiao Lu leaned over to look. Auntie, this is clearly photoshopped. It's fake beyond belief. Besides, the photo I gave you, I saw it with my own eyes and took it with my own hands. There's no way it's fake. Zhao Jinhua suddenly realized, yes, no matter what the photo looks like, what the human eye sees never changes. Zhao Jinhua threw the phone onto her aunt's face. Pa, you old wretch, how dare you play tricks on me? You're just like your daughter, no good either. Did I mistake the person? Are all these photos mistaken as well? She pulled out a stack of photos and threw them down in front of everyone, inside a car, in the grass, among the trees, scenes too sordid to look at. She then took out fourth Wang's phone and played a video. The woman's voice, unclear whether from pain or pleasure, instantly filled the entire private room. The woman's face was clearly visible, and it was unmistakably her cousin. Hearing the sound, the cousin frantically tried to snatch the phone. Turn it off, it's not Me, that's not me. Everyone in the venue wished they could glue their eyes to the phone. And exclamations of shock rang out endlessly. It really is her. Impressive how she framed her cousin for something she did herself. And she deliberately chose the moment when the cousin was meeting the parents to say it. This mother and daughter are truly cunning. The aunt was frantic with worry. Using this kind of video to frame my daughter is illegal. I'll sue you. Zhao Jinhua slapped her cousin across the face. Her cousin's face instantly swelled up even more. Go ahead and report me. That saves me the trouble of calling the police myself. She grabbed her cousin by the hair and yanked a gold necklace from around her neck. It's bad enough that you're messing around with old Fu Wang, but you even ended up with a bastard child and tried to blackmail him for money. Don't you know that old Fu Wang is nothing but a worthless beggar in my house, spending my money to support your pregnancy? What kind of fantasy are you living in? As her cousin was being yanked around, she suddenly caught sight of Fu Nian's shocked and disgusted expression. She looked as if she were facing a great enemy. Fu Nian, don't believe her. The one messing around with old Fu Wang is Zhang Qinghe. I've been wronged. These people were definitely brought here by Zhang Qinghe just to frame me. Even at this point, my cousin was still being stubborn. I turned around, grabbed a bottle of wine, and walked over. Cousin, you and Auntie swore it was me who got pregnant. Do you dare to drink this bottle of wine? If you drink it, I'll admit everything you just said is true. My cousin hesitated for a moment as she looked at the wine in my hand. A faint smile curled at the corners of my lips, my gaze sharp as a blade. This is strong liquor, it gets the blood flowing. Drink it and the baby will be gone immediately. The pain will be like a knife cutting through your abdomen. Hiss. My cousin shuddered and cried out to my aunt for help. Mom, save me, please save me. My cousin's reaction made everything instantly clear to everyone present, watching my panicked cousin and my aunt who looked like she wanted to kill me. A cold, thin smile lurked beneath my eyes. She didn't dare drink it, because this was her only bargaining chip. Plus, she'd had too many miscarriages. If she lost this one, she'd never be able to get pregnant again. Aunt, what other tricks do you have up your sleeve to help your daughter? I'm really curious. Li Feng, are you just going to stand there and watch your daughter bully mine? My aunt really had no other options left, so she played her final trump card. My mom snapped back to reality and instinctively scolded me. Qinghe, that's enough. Do you really have to make things so awkward for everyone? Once word gets out, what will people say about you? How will you ever find a husband? I bit off the bottle cap and took a swig of the so-called hard liquor, then slammed it down on the table amid my mother's scolding, raising the shattered neck of the bottle. I jabbed it against my cousin's throat. Shut up. In an instant, my cousin sobbing, my aunts shouting, my mother's scolding, and the chatter of all the onlookers, everything fell silent. After a moment, Auntie spoke, her voice trembling. Zhang Qinghe, how dare you? So many people are watching. I chuckled. Just kidding. Why so nervous? I learned it from you. Auntie, my aunt choked, and her face turned green. Let me show you something fun. The bottle in my hand suddenly thrust right in front of her eyes, terrified. My cousin squeezed her eyes shut and screamed. When was the last time you and Fourth Wang slept together? Where? Tell me now. Terrified and with no time to think, my cousin blurted out the truth. May 20th, it was the night of May 20th. At Lanting Hotel. Boo-hoo. Fu Nian's mind buzzed, and he yanked his cousin up from the floor. Wu Nana, you dirty bitch, you. He wanted to say something else but held back, finally changing his tone. How dare you bully my girlfriend like that? I won't let you get away with it. I let out a cold snort. You can pretend to be the perfect, filial boyfriend later. I turned my head to look at Zhao Jinhua. Auntie, I'm sure you've also found the hotel check-in record of Wu Nana and Wang Laoxi at Lanting on May 20th, right? Zhao Jinhua nodded. You hold the highest shares in Lanting, so you have the right to view the surveillance footage. You must have seen the clips of Wu Nana moving between two rooms, right? Could you tell me which two rooms they were? They were 208 and 205. Two rooms facing each other. Wu Nana first went to 208, then 20 minutes later she went to 205, and later made several more trips back and forth. I saw it very clearly. Wang Laoxi was in 208. I don't know about 205. I nodded, then pulled up the chat history with Fu Nian. Fu Nian, you just mentioned that you asked me out on May 20th, and among the details, you specifically brought up room 205 at Lanting. I held up my phone, where Fu Nian had clearly mentioned room 205, with the check-in time being exactly the evening of May 20th. Can you explain why you and Wu Nana were in the same room on such a special day as May 20th? Fu Nian's breathing became rapid. If you're not going that day, I'll cancel the hotel. Room 205 isn't me at all. Fu Nian looked around nervously, but just didn't dare to look at me. I let out a cold laugh and pressed closer step by step. You booked a room for the evening. Lanting generally doesn't allow cancellations after 6 p.m., and by the time you invited me, it was already 7 o'clock. Fu Nian's face was covered in a chaotic patchwork of bruises, looking incredibly amusing. It's him, Zhao Jinhua suddenly spoke out. She carefully scrutinized Fu Nian's face. I thought he looked so familiar. Isn't this the guy from room 205? As she spoke, she started scrolling through her phone again. I even got a picture of him when I had someone follow Wu Nana. Here he is. Zhao Jinhua held up her phone. Hi, and on the screen, the faces of Wu Nana and Fu Nian locked in a passionate kiss inside the car were clearly visible. The entire audience fell into an eerie silence. Soon, whispers began to spread. Fu Nian is something else, secretly getting together with his girlfriend's older cousin. It's clear that this older female cousin is the worse one. Not only did she steal her younger cousin's boyfriend, but now she's trying to ruin her reputation. Isn't she driving her cousin to death? Hoof. And here I thought Wang Laosi had lucked out, landing someone in her 20s. Turns out she's just playing him like a dog, and on top of that, she's going to make his own kid call someone else dad. This woman was sleeping with both Fu Nian and Wang Laosi on the same night. There's really no guarantee whose child it is. Wang Laosi, who had been whimpering on the ground, immediately flew into a rage upon hearing this. Bullshit, I knew exactly what kind of woman she was long ago. I only fooled around with her because she was young. Just throw a little money and she'd do whatever you want. That night, I was the first to go, and I was the first to have fun. When that little brat was kissing her, that slut probably still had my stuff in her mouth. Wang Laosi's lewd laughter made the imagination run wild. Fu Nian's rationality snapped in an instant. Fuck, he yelled and charged at Wang Laosi, ready to throw punches. Wang Laosi was no pushover either. Putting up with a beating from his own wife was one thing, but letting some brat beat him up, the two of them ended up grappling in a scuffle. Fu Nian's mother rushed over immediately upon seeing her son being hit. Bastard, how dare you hit my son? But before she could even touch either of them, she was knocked to the ground. Crying out in pain, she yelled for the relatives to help. But every one of the Fu family relatives was more self-interested than the last. They just stood by and watched. My aunt took advantage of the chaos to pull my cousin up from the ground and sneak away, but unexpectedly, the people brought by Zhao Jinhua blocked them at the door. Aunt, one got away. Zhao Jinhua dragged Wu Nana back by her hair and threw her to the ground. The monk can run but the temple can't. Let's deal with the little one first. Wu Nana was trembling with fear. Afraid of what? When you extorted $500,000 from Wang Laosi using the bastard in your belly, you didn't seem scared then. Let me tell you, that $500,000 plus all the gold and jewelry you stole, it totals $1 million. If you don't pay it back, we're going to the police station. Her cousin knew there was no way out this time. She steadied herself and, with nothing left to lose, let things fall apart. Why should I pay you back? You old woman, you can't even keep your man in check. He's willing to spend money on me. What's that got to do with you? Zhao Jinhua was shocked by her cousin's sheer shamelessness and couldn't help but clap in approval. Fine. Then let's let everyone see just how you manage to hook men, and what makes you so much better than me. This old woman. Zhao Jinhua's gaze suddenly turned fierce. Strip her and Wang Laosi naked and throw them out into the street. My cousin hadn't expected Zhao Jinhua to be so vicious, and her face turned deathly pale in an instant. You wouldn't dare, that's against the law, and I'll call the police to have you arrested. Zhao Jinhua kicked her away in disgust. You'd better worry about keeping your clothes on first. Someone stepped forward to pull my cousin away, taking Wang Laosi, who was still fighting. Along with them, everyone followed to watch the commotion, and as the large crowd left, the private room suddenly emptied. Fu Nian lay on the ground, battered and bruised, his face covered in blood and his clothes torn. Fu Nian's mother held her son and wailed pitifully, then caught me snickering on the side and cursed at me viciously. It's all because of you, you jinx. Nothing good ever happens to our Fu Nian since he met you, and now look what's become of him. I sighed. Can't take it already. There's more good stuff coming in a bit. You can wait until then to keep cursing. As soon as I finished speaking, Fu Nian's phone rang. Fu Nian immediately forced himself to sit up and nodded deferentially as he answered the call. But then, whatever the person on the other end said struck him like a thunderbolt. He was stunned, still holding the phone even after the call ended. Fu Nian's mother shook him. "Son, what's wrong? Don't scare me like that." Fu Nian seemed to lose his composure. He snapped back to reality when he saw me. "Qinghe, what's going on? Didn't you say we were sure to win the bid?" I shrugged. "I just mentioned to our leadership that Shangshi Enterprise wasn't very reliable. And he crossed you off the list. As a Fortune Global 500 company, Tianqi had an open tender that Shangshi wasn't even qualified to enter. I had to plead with my supervisor for special consideration. Who would have known that Fu Nian, convinced my involvement would guarantee the win, went all in with his entire fortune. Even so, without today's twist, Fu Nian would have still picked up some scraps even if he lost the bid. After all, a giant like Tianqi spills enough from the cracks of its fingers to feed a mid-tier company like Shangshi. Too bad. I no longer feel like giving." I sent a message to my subordinate, telling him to inform Fu Nian ahead of time, putting a definitive end to his illusions. Fu Nian roared, "How could you be so heartless? Do you realize this will ruin me and Shangshi? It's over, all over." Fu Nian's mother, who had once worked at Shangshi, realized the gravity of the situation. "The person who was just calling me a jinx is now scrambling to grab my leg." "Qinghe, dear daughter-in-law, we're family after all. If Shangshi collapses, it won't do you any good either. Please help Fu Nian, just help Fu Nian one more time." I looked coldly at the Fu family. Just moments ago, they were as haughty as victorious roosters. Now Fu Nian's father and Fu Nian himself were slumped on the ground, while his mother groveled for one last shred of hope for their company, displaying selfishness and hypocrisy to the fullest. I bent down and pried open Mother Fu Nian's fingers one by one, as if extinguishing the last glimmer of hope in her heart. Bit by bit. "Auntie, I can't afford your glorious family, and I certainly can't accept your precious son. I think he's a better match for my cousin. After all, she might still be carrying your family's child in her belly." I turned my head to call my parents. Dad, let's go." My dad had immediately stepped in front of me to protect me as soon as the person blocking him was taken out, and now, hearing me say we should go home, he kept nodding. "Let's go home." Stepping out of the hotel, the street was even more bustling. Onlookers took photos while cries of shock and pleas for help rang out. My cousin and Wang Laosi tried to flee, but were blocked and held in place by the people Zhao Jinhua had brought. My cousin could only dodge while shouting for everyone to stop taking photos, looking both pitiful and distressed, but it still couldn't stop the crowd's cameras. My cousin had no choice but to crouch down with her head buried, trying hard not to have her face photographed, in a corner where no one was paying attention. My aunt witnessed all of this and clearly didn't want to get involved. The moment our eyes met, hers were filled with nothing but hatred. My father tugged at my sleeve. "Never mind, since she doesn't care about it, why should we bother getting involved in this mess? It'll only bring us trouble." I glanced again at the commotion around my cousin, though it pained me to watch, thinking about what they had done to me. I turned and walked away without looking back. The train carriage shut out all the noise in the complete silence. My mother's sigh was particularly noticeable. "After all, they're our own relatives, and none of you are willing to help." I held back my father, who was about to lose his temper, and turned to look at my mother. "Help, you were there too, and there was plenty of time to help. Why didn't you do it? There are so many of them. How can I help?" I let out a cold sneer. "You know very well there are too many people, so why are you asking us to help?" My mother knew she was in the wrong, but she still tried to morally manipulate us to ease her own sense of guilt. "After your cousin, a young woman, was stripped naked on the street, how can she hold her head up in society? And old Zhang, what did you mean by threatening me to get a divorce? Qinghe works at a big company now and earns so much money every month. What's wrong with helping Nana pay back some money? It's not like she won't return it later." "Mom," I took a deep breath, trying to suppress my anger. "My cousin cheated with my boyfriend and also got involved with old Wang. If she doesn't care about how she's perceived in society, why should I worry for her? How much money I earn has nothing to do with her. If you want to help her, go do it yourself. Don't drag us down anymore." Ever since I can remember, how much money has Aunt borrowed from our family? Has she ever paid back a single cent? To lend her money, you even used my tuition fees, nearly costing me my education. Dad wouldn't have had to keep driving that beat-up car, refusing to replace or repair it until he finally crashed and injured his leg. which still hurts every time it rains. Our family has been bled dry by those two mother and daughter. Mom, doesn't that hurt you at all? Who are your real family, after all? By the time I shouted those last words, my face was already streaked with tears, as if trying to wash away all the grievances I had suffered at the hands of my aunt and her daughter in my past life. The car suddenly stopped, and I turned to look outside. It turned out to be the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. My dad got out, opened the rear door, and pulled my mom out. Divorce, we're doing it now. If I ever let you put my daughter through another ounce of suffering, I'm not a real man. My mom was finally frightened and desperately tugged at my dad as she stepped back. Old Zheng, what are you doing? I was just speaking casually. I never really asked Qinghe to help. Even saying it is not okay. Seeing she couldn't persuade him, my mom quickly turned to me for help. Qinghe, please talk to your father. Do you really want to watch mom and dad get divorced? I was crying so much that I couldn't speak, and turned my face away, unwilling to respond. We were about to step into the Civil Affairs Bureau. I won't say anything anymore. I won't ever say anything again. Old Zheng, I'm begging you. If you cast me out at my age, how can I face anyone ever again? My mom was so scared that she started crying. I'm never getting involved in my sister's affairs again. Only then did my dad stop. If I see you contacting her again, we're getting a divorce. My mom quickly nodded. After being frightened, my mom really quieted down quite a bit, and life gradually returned to calm. But my aunt's family was not so calm. My cousin's video spread throughout the district and town, and on top of that, she couldn't repay the money, so now she's nowhere to be found. When her eldest aunt went out, she was subjected to all kinds of pointed remarks and gossip. On the weekend, I went home to visit my parents and saw her chatting with someone at the entrance of the neighborhood. Xiao Wu, is this your girlfriend? Oh my, she's really beautiful. The shy girl smiled. Thank you, Auntie, even prettier than those KTV hostesses. If you went there, you'd definitely earn more than them. The girl who had been laughing instantly froze. The aunt, completely unaware, said to the boy's mother again, Sister, you're in for a good life. You've found yourself a daughter-in-law who can earn big money. That was old Madame Wu, whose son was a famously talented graduate in the neighborhood, high-earning and handsome. The aunt wanted to set him up with her cousin, but he wasn't interested. Old Madame Wu didn't indulge her. Li Shufan, have you found your daughter who's been a mistress to some old man out there? And here you are still spewing nonsense. As soon as the words were spoken, all eyes instantly turned to the aunt, thinking about what had happened in her family. Everyone's gazes turned contemptuous. The aunt gave an awkward smile. See, I was just joking, and you took it seriously. You're getting more thin-skinned as you age. No sooner had she finished speaking than her aunt received an unexpected slap on the face. Aunt Wu shook her numbed hand. That was for my son's girlfriend. With that, she swung her arm and gave her aunt another hard slap. The force was so strong that the aunt nearly lost her balance and fell. That slap is for getting in my way. Such bad luck. Now that you know I hold grudges, don't let me see you again. Every time I see you, I'll hit you, Pa. After saying that, he soothed the girl and took her home. The aunt stood there covering her face, and under the mocking gazes around her, she finally felt too ashamed to stay and slunk back home. When she got home, her parents weren't there. I put the groceries away in the kitchen and suddenly felt a chill behind me. I whipped my head around. A flash of cold light whisked past my ear. Upon taking a closer look, I realized it was my cousin who had been missing for days. She was actually hiding in my house. She charged at me again, this time with a fruit knife in hand. Zhang Qinghe, it's all your fault. I've ended up like this because of you. Funyan doesn't want me anymore. I have no choice but to be Wang Laoxi's underground lover. Do you know what it's like living in a dark, sunless basement? Wang Laoxi reeks of old age and is as fat as a pig. I ran away, but got caught again. He actually locked me up with a dog chain and did things to me. It was only then that I realized my cousin had become as thin as a stick, with sunken eyes, dry hair, looking like a skeleton. I ran into the room and locked the door. She stabbed at it again and again, and I could even see the blade tip pierce through. Zhang Qinghe, I won't let you go. I'll drag you to hell with me. The sounds of smashing and crashing came from outside. After what felt like an eternity, the sirens finally wailed. My cousin was taken away, and the house fell silent. Mom and Dad came back. Dad took a sharp breath at the sight of the room in disarray. What happened here? I sat on the sofa, my mind in a daze. When I got back, Wu Nana was at home. She tried to stab me with a knife and was just taken away by the police. Why was she in our house? Why? I coldly turned my head to look at my mom. Seeing my mom's guilty look, my dad suddenly understood. Li Feng, are you crazy? No wonder it feels like someone else has been in the house these past few days. You've been cooking an extra portion, and even locking Qinghe's room, so you've been hiding someone in the house all along. My mom plays the victim. I just thought she looked too pitiful. Wang Laosi locked her up and treated her like an animal. Even if she did something wrong, it should be handed over to the police, I said coldly. Then did you call the police? My mother turned her face away without making a sound. Wang Laosi is dead. She killed him. She came here to kill me. My mother's eyes widened in shock. I don't know about this. I picked up my suitcase. I'm leaving, and I probably won't come back. Again, my father stopped me. He patted his pockets, then quickly walked to the master bedroom and came back with his wallet. Take this cash and the card. There's 200,000 yuan in the card. Buy yourself an apartment in the city and don't come back. Seeing that I was about to refuse, take it. It's your father's fault for not being able to protect you. If you have a place in the city, I'll still have somewhere to visit you. Don't worry, I won't bring her. After hesitating for a moment, I finally took the card. I'm leaving. Feeling that she might lose me forever, Mom cried out and tried to pull me back. Qinghe, are you trying to drive your mother to despair? Dad held her back. You won't die. But Qinghe almost really did. If you care about her, don't bother her. The door closed, cutting off my parents' voices. I tightened my grip on the bank card and resolutely left them. I never saw my mother again. Occasionally, my father would visit and bring news of my mother. Wu Nana was sent to prison, while Zhao Jinhua kept demanding money from my aunt every day. Left with no choice, my aunt sold the house to repay the debts and then left quietly for another place. My mother spent her days at home sighing in despair, having left everything behind. I worked hard to live this new life well. I quickly rose through the ranks at work and eventually became the CEO of Tianqi by chance. While inspecting a newly established subsidiary, I saw Fu Nian's resume on the HR manager's desk. Fu Nian's company lost the bid and lost its vitality, eventually declaring bankruptcy, leaving a mountain of debt behind. The once arrogant family had no choice but to go out and work, yet they kept getting fired because they couldn't let go of their pride. They ended up cooped up in a rental, living frugally day by day. I picked up the resume and threw it into the trash. This person, no need. The people around nodded in succession. Later, somehow this matter got spread around, turning into the story that the CEO of Tianqi had completely blacklisted Fu Nian, the former general manager of Shengshi. When I heard about it, I couldn't help but smile wryly. As for the impact on Fu Nian, who cares? Feel free to share your thoughts on this story in the comments section. Now, let's move on to a new story. In my past life, my best friend loudly announced at my wedding that I had an abortion, ruining my reputation and ultimately leading me to jump off a building in despair. Reborn. On the day of the wedding, I watched her getting ready to frame me with the same old trick. I didn't hold back. I picked up the cup of scalding hot tea from the table and splashed it hard in her face. As she screamed, I wiped my hands with a smile. A mouth like that needs to be burned before it learns to remember. The face in the mirror was very pale. The foundation was as thick as if it had been spread on a wall, hiding the blue-green bruising underneath. I touched my face. It was warm, alive. I wasn't dead. I didn't jump from the 18th floor. The door opened. Su Yao came in. She was wearing a bridesmaid dress, a red, low-cut, with her thighs exposed. Lin Xia, are you done with your makeup? Gu Chen is waiting. She tossed her bag onto the bed, sat down, and crossed her legs. The hem of her skirt slid up, revealing a large expanse of pale skin. I looked at her, fury blazing in my eyes. In my past life, it was today, in this very room, she said to me, Lin Xia, the bridesmaid dress is a bit tight, help me pull it. I helped her pull it. She suddenly screamed and rushed out, making everyone think I was tearing her clothes out of jealousy. Then she went on stage, grabbed the microphone, and said with a grin, today is also Lin Xia's big happy day. Even though she had an abortion before and her health isn't great, marrying young Master Gu is still a blessing she's earned. The whole audience fell dead silent. The Gu family is wealthy and powerful, reputation matters most to them. Gu Chen's face darkened like the bottom of a pot. I tried to defend myself. No one believed me. Su Yao cried, saying it had been so hard for her to keep my secret. The next day, I was cast out. My phone exploded with cyberbullying messages. The day after that, I jumped off a building. Lin Xia, why are you spacing out? Su Yao waved her hand in front of my eyes. They're calling you. I stood up, I walked over. What's wrong with you? Your eyes are so scary. Su Yao shrank back slightly. I grabbed the cup of hot tea on the table, scorching hot a splash. I splashed it in her face. A scream, sharp, piercing, like a pig being slaughtered. Su Yao jumped up, covering her face with her hands. Tea dripped from her chin onto her red low-cut dress, soaking a patch and revealing the skin-colored fabric beneath. Are you crazy, Lin Xia? Are you crazy? She jumped around wildly, reaching out to grab me. I grabbed her hair and yanked it back. Ouch. Her head was forced backward, her made-up face twisting into a grimace. Su Yao. I leaned closer to her, staring into her eyes. Is your mouth feeling a little too itchy? I let go. She plopped down onto the ground, still howling. I'm going to tell Guchen. I'm going to tell everyone. You're a crazy woman. She pointed at me, her finger trembling. I smiled. Go ahead. I crouched down and patted her face. Go tell Guchen that I splashed you. Let's see if he believes you or me. I took out my phone from my bag, started the recording, and tossed it onto the bed. But first, listen to this. This is the last words I recorded before my death in my previous life, but I never had to use them. In this life, they've become evidence, or leverage. Actually, there's nothing in the recording, just the sound of my breathing. But I could see she was panicking. What do you mean? She said, staring at the phone. What I mean is, I stood up and smoothed the hem of my wedding dress. From now on, no more pretending. You want to play? I'll play along to the end. Su Yao froze. She looked at me as if seeing a stranger. The Lin Xia from before was a pushover, easy for her to squeeze, easy for her to take advantage of. She didn't pay back the money she borrowed. She stole my boyfriend, and I let it all slide. Because she was my best friend. Fuck that best friend. Change your clothes. I pointed at the water stain on the floor. Your dress is dirty. I won't have my maid of honor looking like a drowned rat and embarrassing me. Go put on the other set. The other set was the one meant for the girl pouring drinks. Plus-sized, frumpy, and covered every inch. I'm not wearing that. Su Yao stood up, her makeup smeared, looking like a ghost. Not wearing it. I picked up the eyebrow razor from the table and twirled it in my hand. Then go out naked. Su Yao shuddered. She was scared. She grabbed the unfashionable dress and rushed into the bathroom. The door closed. I sat in the chair, looking at myself in the mirror. My hands are still trembling, not from fear, but from the thrill. What a rush. Guchen pushed the door open. His tall figure blocked the light. What's wrong? I heard shouting. He was wearing a suit, tall and handsome. His face was expressionless, cold and aloof. I stood up, walked over, and wrapped my arms around his waist. It's nothing. Just messing around with Yao. Gu Cheng looked down at me, his hand resting on my back. If she upsets you, just throw her out. My heart stirred. In the previous life, what he said was, Lin Xia, can't you be more sensible? Today is a day of celebration. It's different now. Is it because I spilled the tea, or because my attitude in this life has changed? Whatever. Shingu. I looked up and gave him a gentle kiss on the chin. Thank you. Guchen froze for a moment, then smiled. It was a beautiful smile. He reached out and pinched my cheek. So polite. You're welcome. Tonight, I leaned close to his ear and breathed. Tonight I'll make you feel even better. Guchen's Adam's apple moved. His gaze darkened instantly. Little vixen. He gave me a firm hug and turned to go out. The door closed. The bathroom door opened as well. Su Yao had changed into the plus-size dress, black, long-sleeved, with a high collar, ugly as hell. Her originally fair and smooth thighs were now indeed covered, but the fabric clung tightly to her body, squeezing her flesh and making her look even more bloated and tacky. Lin Xia, you did that on purpose. She gritted her teeth. So what if I did? I walked to the door and pulled it open. Let's go, we're getting married. The banquet hall was buzzing with noise. A round table, a red cloth, flowers, people everywhere. Su Yao walks behind me, glaring hatefully at my back. I can feel her gaze, like an all, I don't care. In my previous life, I walked cautiously, afraid of stepping on my dress, afraid my makeup would smudge. She deliberately stepped on my hem. I nearly tripped, yet I turned back and told her it was fine. In this life, I walk very fast. Su Yao wants to step on me but can't keep up. Arriving at the podium, Gu Chen is already waiting there. The master of ceremonies, a bald man, holds the microphone and spits as he speaks. The wedding ceremony begins now. The groom enters the venue. The music starts. Gu Chen approaches and extends his hand. I place my hand in his. His hand is warm, strong, and dry. We stood side by side. The officiant was rambling on. Something about love, something about eternity. I didn't want to listen. I stared at the audience below. Suyao stood next to me, holding the ring box. Her face was still smudged with tears, her makeup untouched. In that ugly dress, she looked like a joke under the lights. Guests in the crowd pointed and whispered, "Is that the bridesmaid? Why is she dressed like that? What's wrong with her face?" I heard she got into a fight with the bride. The voices were low, but I could hear them. Suyao couldn't hear them, but she could feel those stares. She kept her head down, fingers gripping the ring box tightly until her knuckles turned white. "Next, please welcome the maid of honor to present the rings," the host announced. Suyao took a step forward. She looked at me, a venomous glint in her eyes. I know what she's going to do. In the previous life, when she handed over the ring, she leaned close to my ear and whispered, "You've already lost the baby in your belly, haven't you? What do you think Gu Chen will do when he finds out you're a barren hen?" Then she said it out loud this time. She handed me the box, leaned in. I leaned in too. "Lin Xia," she lowered her voice, speaking so that only the two of us could hear, "You think you've won. Look at Gu Chen's eyes. He doesn't love you at all. He's just using your family's shares. Once you're married, you'll be nothing." Her warm breath sprayed against my neck. It tickled. I took the ring and ignored her, turning my head toward the microphone. "Everyone," I said. The noise was loud, then the entire venue fell silent. The host froze, forgetting to speak. Gu Chen also turned his head too. "Look at me." Suyao stiffened. She had no idea what I was about to do. "My dear best friend Suyao just told me a particularly touching story," I said with a smile, holding the microphone. "I'd like to share it with everyone." Suyao's face turned pale. She tugged at my sleeve and whispered, "Lin Xia, don't talk nonsense." I shook her off. She said. I scanned the audience one by one. She said she's actually always had a crush on Gu Chen. She even did many crazy things for him. The crowd erupted. In an uproar, Gu Chen frowned. Suyao panicked and waved her hands. "No, I didn't." "Lin Xia, you're lying." "You did." I interrupted her. "You said you were jealous of me. You said you wished you could push me off right now." I pointed to the high platform next to us, which had decorative fake rocks on top. "You said it would be better if I weren't here, then you'd be standing next to Gu Chen in a wedding dress." "Lin Xia, shut up. Are you crazy?" Suyao screamed, lunging to grab the microphone. Gu Chen was quick, stopping her with one arm. "What's going on?" Gu Chen asked in a low voice. I looked at Suyao, and tears came easily. They fell drop by drop. "Yao Yao, I know you're suffering inside, but you can't steal my husband. Today is our wedding day, and you're saying all this in front of so many people. I don't blame you." I turned to look at Gu Chen, crying beautifully like a pear blossom in the rain. "Honey, Yao Yao just loves you too much. How about you let her join us in the wedding ceremony?" The guests below erupted. "Holy shit, that explosive. The bridesmaid wants to be the other woman. Who the hell is this woman? He doesn't look like a good person at all, dressed just like a black widow." Suyao, blocked by Gu Chen, was still struggling. "No, Lin Xia, you're slandering me. You're the one who had an abortion. You're the one messing around with men." She shouted it out. She finally shouted it out. The knife from the previous life had now become a boomerang, stabbing into her own flesh. In this one, the whole scene fell into dead silence. Then, an even greater uproar of discussion erupted. "Abortion? The bride? Really? No way. I don't think so. The bride is too good looking for that. That bridesmaid looks like a real shrew." Gu Chen's face darkened. He glanced at Suyao, then at me. He let go. "Security," Gu Chen called out. 2 security guards ran over. "Get her out. Don't let her cause trouble." Gu Chen pointed at Suyao. "No, Gu Chen, let me explain. It's Lin Xia, she used to." Suyao was still yelling. The security guard picked her up and dragged her out. One of her shoes fell off, and her feet scraped against the ground. "Lin Xia, you bitch, I'll haunt you even as a ghost." The sound faded into the distance. I stood on the stage, microphone in hand, watching her flustered state. What a thrill it was inside, like drinking ice-cold cola, a chill running from the top of my head down to my heels. I wiped my tears and looked at Gu Chen. "Honey, that scared me to death. How could she be like this?" Gu Chen looked at me with a complicated expression. "Have you ever had an abortion before?" he asked. "This is a critical hurdle. If you can't get past it, you're done." I looked at him without flinching. "If it's true, will you still want me?" I asked. "Actually, I've never had an abortion." That was Suyao spreading rumors. But in my previous life, no matter how much I explained, no one believed me. In this life, I only asked this one question. Gu Chen stared at me for a long time. Suddenly, he smiled. "Fool." He took the ring from my hand and slipped it onto my finger. Whether it's true or not, we'll go to the hospital and find out later. Even if you did have one, that's in the past. I'm marrying you, the person you are now. Thunderous applause erupted from the audience. I looked at the diamond ring on my finger, so dazzling it hurt my eyes. I won, but looking at Guchen's smile, my heart skipped a beat. Does he really not care, or does he have other plans? Whatever. Let's crush Suyao first. The wedding. Continued toasting, changing outfits, seeing off the guests. It was only when I was busy until the middle of the night that I began to feel tired. Back at the new place, the presidential suite on the top floor of the hotel, as soon as we entered, Guchen picked me up and tossed me onto the bed. I'm exhausted, I grumbled. Guchen took off his jacket, undid his tie, and walked over to pin me down. That Suyao, is it really just jealousy? He asked in my ear, his hands wandering. What else? I gasped. She just wants to move up, humph. Guchen let out a cold laugh, quite ambitious. His hand slid up along my waist. Honey, I grabbed his hand. I'm too tired today. Could we maybe? No. Guchen kissed my neck. Every moment of our wedding night is worth a fortune. If we don't get down to business, did we get married for nothing? I also want to do something serious. I also want the passion that comes after revenge. But there's something on my mind. Suyao has been thrown out, but she won't let it go. Does she have any dirt on me? No, but she will spread rumors tomorrow. The headline might be Rich Bride Beats Bridesmaid at Wedding Scene. Bride turns out to be a woman who had a miscarriage. I have to be careful. Guchen. I pushed his face away a little. If the reporters ask about it tomorrow, what will you say? Guchen paused what he was doing and looked at me. Are you worried about that? Don't worry. Guchen pinched my nose. As long as I'm here, no one dares to write nonsense. Just watch the news tomorrow morning. He lowered his head and silenced my lips. That night was wild. Guchen seemed like a different person. He used to be quite distant, only once or twice a month. Tonight, it was as if he was trying to make up for all the times he had held back. I wasn't idle either. Since I've been reborn, I need to live well. The next morning, I was woken up by the ringing of my phone. Guchen was not by my side. I touched the space beside me. It was cold. I picked up my phone. It was an unfamiliar number. Hello, Lin Xia. Just you wait. I won't let you off. It was Suyao's voice, hoarse, furious. Who is this? I played dumb. I'm your ancestor, Lin Xia. Guchen is not human. He's a beast. You will regret this. If you're sick, take your medicine. I hung up the phone. Get up. Wash up. Guchen sat on the sofa, drinking coffee and reading the newspaper. The newspaper nowadays is actually an iPad. Awake, he looked up at me. Come take a look at this. He handed me the iPad. A headline, Wedding Nightmare, Bridesmaid's Public Proposal Rejected. Turns out she has schizophrenia. The article gave a vivid account. It said the bridesmaid, Suyao, suffers from a severe mental illness and has always been jealous of the bride. She had an episode during the wedding, caused a huge scene, and even spread a rumor that the bride had an abortion. Attached was a ghastly photo of Suyao being escorted out by security guards yesterday. Another photo shows me crying beautifully, nestled in Guchen's arms, pitiful yet graceful, with a goddess-like charm. I looked up at Guchen. What do you think? Satisfied, Guchen took a sip of coffee. I had someone send it out. Will this work? Does she have schizophrenia? Why wouldn't it work? Experts have already appraised it. Besides, she's seen a psychiatrist before, and I have the records. Guchen said indifferently. My heart skipped a beat. You investigated her. It was nothing. Guchen stood up, walked over, and helped tidy my hair. Dealing with someone like that can't just be about throwing tea in her face. You have to ruin her reputation completely. Now the whole city knows she's a madwoman. No one will believe whatever she says about you anymore. I looked at Guchen. This man was not simple. In my previous life, why didn't I notice how ruthless he could be? Or rather, in my previous life, had he never used such methods on me at all? Is it because in this life, I threw that cup of tea? I fought back, and he considered me a qualified wife, so he was willing to help me. Thank you, honey. I hugged him. You're welcome. He patted my back. Today's the day we visit your parents after the wedding. What are you planning to tell them? The day to visit her parents after the wedding. That visit was a major hurdle. Suyao was the one I brought home. She also got along very well with my parents. My foolish old parents will definitely side with Suyao. If they scold you, just bear with it. I'll step in when the time comes, Guchen said. I shook my head. No, this time, I'll handle it myself. I am no longer the Lin Xia who can be easily pushed around. Back at my parents' home, the atmosphere at the dinner table was indeed off. Father was smoking with a gloomy face, mother was wiping away tears, the dishes were laid out on the table, untouched by anyone. Suya was not there, she was in a psychiatric hospital, reportedly sent there by Gu Chen for observation. Xia, what on earth have you done wrong? Mom started crying as soon as she saw me. Yao Yao is such a good girl. How could you say she has a mental illness and have her committed to a hospital? Exactly. Dad stubbed out his cigarette fiercely in the ashtray. You've always been petty since you were little. Yao Yao was letting you have your way, but you had to embarrass her in public at the wedding, and you even had the Gu family take her away. Where are we supposed to put our faces now? I pulled out the chair and sat down. Dad, Mom. Do you know what Su Yao said at the wedding? What could she have said that's such a big deal? Isn't it just a joke? Mom said, wiping away tears. She said I've had an abortion. The table fell silent for a moment. That still doesn't mean she has a mental illness. Mom wailed again. That's you young people's business. Yaya was just trying to liven things up. Liven things up. I sneered. Mom, if someone said in front of everyone that you had a man on the side, and called it livening things up, would you be happy? Nonsense. How can you compare yourself to your mother? How am I not comparable? I'm your daughter, and this is how you treat me. I stood up and slapped my hand on the table. The plates and bowls jumped. Ever since I was little, whatever Suya wanted, you gave her. My snacks went to her. My clothes went to her. In school, she copied my homework. At work, she used my connections. And in the end, she even tried to steal my husband. Are you both blind? Shut up. Dad stood up and pointed at me. Is that any way to talk to your elders? Gu Chen doesn't even look down on you, and yet you're getting all high and mighty. Suya wants to snatch him. That means she thinks highly of you. If you had conducted yourself properly, how could anyone take him away from you? This is my own father. In my previous life, when Su Yao said I'd had an abortion, his first reaction was, how shameful. Get down on your knees right now and apologize to the Gu family. In this life, it's exactly the same in their eyes. Su Yao is an outsider, a guest, someone to be protected. I am one of them, someone who can be sacrificed at will. Good, very good. I nod. Since you like her so much, you can go to the hospital and keep her company. I turned around and walked away. Stop right there, Dad shouted. If you walk out that door, don't ever come back. Then I won't. I slammed the door and left. At the entrance, Gu Chen was leaning against the car, smoking. Seeing me come out, he threw away the cigarette and stamped it out. Done fighting? Yeah, get in the car. Let's go home. Home? Which home? To our home. Gu Chen opened the car door and shoved me inside. The car started moving. I glanced at the tightly shut gate. Tears streamed down my face. Pathetic, crying over parents like that. Gu Cheng handed me a tissue. Cry, you'll feel better once you're done crying. Did you know all along that they would act this way? I asked. I did. Gu Chen looked at the road ahead. But I couldn't step in for you. This is your family matter. Only when you break it off yourself can you truly find relief. He took my hand. Now, you only have me. Only him. Is that really true? Having cut off contact with my family, I actually feel relieved. Move into Gu Chen's villa. It's large and spacious. The housekeeper's cooking is delicious. A few peaceful days pass by, until that night. Gu Chen is away on a business trip. I'm home alone watching TV while eating fruit. The doorbell rings. Who could it be at this late hour? I walk to the door and look out through the peephole. No one. I looked outside again. There was a box on the ground, pink, with a ribbon tied around it. I opened the door and brought the box inside. It felt strange. I placed the box on the tea table and opened it. 1 layer, 2 layers, the innermost part. It's a finger, broken, bloody and mangled. The nail is painted with red nail polish. I recognize that nail polish. I was the one who painted it on Su Yao. There's also a note. The handwriting is crooked, as if written with the left hand, or with toes. Lin Xia, I will take back what belongs to me, little by little, starting with the fingers. Next will be Gu Chen's. My hand trembled slightly. The box fell to the ground. A finger rolled out. My stomach churned, and I rushed to the bathroom to vomit. Su Yao is insane. She's really gone mad. Or did Gu Chen drive her mad? No matter who did it, this thing is inside my home. Fear slithers all over my body like a snake. I rushed out of the bathroom and took out my phone. I wanted to call Gu Chen, but I stopped myself. Gu Chen was in the middle of a big business deal. If I disturbed him at this moment, would he think I was a burden? In my past life, I was too dependent on others. In this life, I have to carry my own weight. I dialed the security office's number, checked the surveillance footage. Who just delivered that box? 10 minutes later, the head of security came up. He was a burly man, drenched in sweat. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, that spot is a blind spot for the cameras. Also, the person who delivered it was wearing a raincoat and a hat, so we couldn't see their face. Can't find anything, can't find anything. But what? We found some footprints outside the wall. Looks like someone climbed over." My heart sank. The villa's security system was personally designed by Guchen. It was said to be so tight that not even a fly could get in. Could Su Yao actually do it? It seemed she was not just crazy, she also had help. Who would help a psycho? I thought of Su Yao's brother, the one who runs a casino, Su Cheng, that gambling addict, capable of anything for money. "Strengthen the guard," I said to the team leader. "Assign more people. No sleeping at night." "Yes, ma'am." The captain left. I stared at that finger. I wanted to throw it away but didn't dare to touch it. If I didn't throw it away, just looking at it made me sick. In the end, I found a bag, put it inside, and threw it into the freezer compartment of the refrigerator. "If you dare come, I'll freeze you in there too." The next day, Guchen returned. The moment he walked in, I threw myself into his arms. "What's wrong? Why are you so scared?" He touched my face, which was cold. I took the things out of the fridge and threw them in front of him. Guchen opened the bag and glanced inside. His brow didn't even furrow. "From Su Yao." "Yes, and there's a note saying she wants back what belongs to her. Also that thing." Guchen smiled. "My what? It's that." I pointed at his crotch. Gucheng burst out laughing. "Ha ha ha ha, this woman is kind of interesting." His laughter sent a chill down my spine. "Are you scared?" I asked. "What is there to be afraid of?" Guchen tossed the bag into the trash can. "She's just a lunatic. Since she wants my stuff, let her come and get it." He looked at me, a fierce glint in his eyes. "Xia, looks like we're going to have to play a little dirty." "What do you mean, since she wants to play with fire? Let's play along. Don't just let her send fingers. Let's send a little gift in return." Guchen took out his phone and dialed a number. "Third, go find out where Su Cheng is. Take a few brothers and give him a little massage. Let him know that some people's younger sisters are off limits." After hanging up the phone, Guchen put his arm around me. Feeling better now, I leaned against his chest. My heart was pounding hard. This man is crueler than me, more ruthless. But in this world as it is now, if you're not ruthless enough, you'll only get eaten. I have to be more ruthless than him, or cling tightly to his leg. "Enjoy the service," I said, "then rest well. Tonight, I have a surprise for you." Guchen smiled mysteriously. "A surprise, or a fright?" Evening, Guchen took me to a place. It wasn't a restaurant or a bar, it was an abandoned factory. It was pitch dark outside. Inside, the lights were on. Go inside. A chair was placed in the middle. Su Cheng was tied to the chair, battered and bruised, with a foul sock stuffed in his mouth. Two men in black stood nearby. Guchen walked over and pulled the sock out. Su Cheng gasped heavily and coughed. Mr. Gu, have mercy." "I don't know what?" Gucheng lit a cigarette and blew the smoke in his face. "Don't know that your sister sent my wife a finger." "What, a finger?" Su Cheng's eyes widened. "No, I didn't know, Mr. Gu. My sister is insane. It's got nothing to do with me." "None of your business." Guchen kicked him in the stomach. Su Cheng let out a miserable cry and curled up. "Su Yao's mental issues are hereditary, right? You're pretty crazy too. Are your gambling debts paid off?" Paid it off." Guchen scoffed. "As far as I know, you still owe 5 million in loan shark debt. The interest alone has ballooned to 8 million. Who paid it off for you?" Su Cheng fell silent. "Talk." Guchen pressed the cigarette butt onto his arm. A sizzling sound, the stench of burnt flesh. I'll talk. It was someone who helped me pay it back." "Who?" "I don't know them, really, I don't. They just called and told me to do Su Yao a favor, then transferred the money to me. They said as long as I ruin Lin Xiao's reputation, the money is mine." "The phone number." Su Cheng recited a string of numbers. Guchen took out his phone and dialed. It connected, but no one answered. Guchen stared at his phone for a moment. "It's a virtual number." He turned around and looked at me. Xia, it seems this is more complicated than I thought. It's not just Su Yao who hates you, there's someone else behind the scenes stirring things up." I thought back to what Su Yao said at the wedding, those words. It was as if someone had coached her. "Who is it?" I asked. "Find out." Guchen threw the cigarette butt to the ground and stamped it out. "Whoever it is, dig him out, and flay him alive." He took my hand. "Let's go. The real show has just begun. Get out of the factory." The wind felt chilly against my skin. I felt like I had fallen into a deep pit. Su Yao had dug it before, and now Gu Chen had dug it, but I had no choice but to jump in, because I can no longer return to that innocent Lin Xia. Life has become tense, more bodyguards have appeared at the villa. Everyone is checked when coming and going. Su Yao hasn't sent any more fingers, but trouble has started to appear online. Someone made a post, inside the wealthy family, bride Lin Xia was once a mistress, meddling in Su Yao's relationship. The accompanying images are old photos of Su Yao and me, along with a blurry picture of Su Chang and me together. That was a long time ago when Su Chang asked to borrow money from me. I was handing him a card at a cafe when someone secretly took the photo. The post was made so convincingly that it looked real. The comments below were full of criticism. Truly shameless, looks like a total slut. Su Yao is truly pitiful. Not only did her best friend steal her man, but she's also being falsely accused of being mentally ill. Gu Chen's company stock price dipped a bit. Gu Chen, however, wasn't in a hurry. Let the bullet fly for a while. He said he is having a meeting in the study. I am listening outside. Got the IP, got it. It's an overseas server, routed through several layers. Keep digging. I refuse to believe we can't find the source. At that moment, my phone rang. It was that unfamiliar number again. I answered. Lin Xia, how is it? Feels good, doesn't it? It was Su Yao's voice. This time she didn't curse, but her smile was eerily sinister. Was it you who posted that thread? I asked. So what if it was? You have Gu Chen to protect you, and I have public opinion on my side. Just wait and see. Do you think Gu Chen would still want you if he found out you used to have something going on with Su Chang? Bullshit, I snapped. That was borrowing money. Borrow money, who knows? A man and a woman alone in a cafe, holding hands. The photos are crystal clear. Su Yao, don't get cocky. Your brother is in Gu Chen's hands. Do you want him dead? There was a brief silence on the other end of the phone. Whether he lives or dies, what's that to me? He owes me so much money. He should have died long ago. Lin Xia, don't think you can threaten me with him. I've got nothing left now. I'm not afraid of anything. You, just wait. The next thing that will go viral is the document proving you had an abortion at the hospital. Even though it's fake, I can make it look more real than the real thing. Click. The call ended. I clutched the phone, my palms drenched with sweat. She's crazy. She's truly afraid of nothing. What should I do? I have to strike first. That miscarriage report is the biggest ticking time bomb. It has to be neutralized. I found Gu Chen. I need to go to the hospital, I said. To the hospital? What's wrong? Gu Chen put down his documents. I need to get a checkup. I looked into his eyes. I need to prove my innocence. What are you checking for? Check if I'm a virgin. Check if I've given birth. Check the thickness of the uterine wall. Run all the tests. Gu Chen laughed. Is that necessary? I trust you. It's not enough that I believe. The whole world has to believe. I insisted. Gu Chen agreed. We went to the best private hospital. We found the most authoritative experts. The examination process was very painful. It took up the whole afternoon. The results are out. I am intact. Although the hymen is no longer there. It got torn when I fell off a horse as a child. Or maybe from sports, who knows, but it's gone. The uterine wall is intact, with no signs of childbirth or miscarriage. The doctor issued a certificate and stamped it. Holding this piece of paper, I felt as if I were holding a charter of immunity, posted on Weibo. I said to Gu Chen, share the results. Whoever spreads rumors next will be sued. Gu Chen shook his head. That's too low class. Let's play a different game. He took a photo of the evidence and sent it to a paparazzo. That paparazzo was kept by Gu Chen, specializing in leaking this kind of explosive news. Half an hour later, trending no. One in shock. Su Yao's rumors confirmed. Lin Xia's medical report exposed. Her innocence moves people to tears. On the report, every piece of data is crystal clear. Public opinion instantly reverses. I knew it. Lin Xia never seemed like that kind of person. Su Yao is a viper, absolutely evil. This is what they call those who plot harm end up harming themselves. Poor Lin Xia. I sat on the sofa, scrolling through the comments. The weight in my heart was finally lifted. Su Yao, let's see how you handle this move. Evening. Gu Chen opened a bottle of red wine. Celebrate. Celebrate what? Celebrate that my wife is still a pure maiden. Gu Cheng smirked mischievously. I rolled my eyes at him. Are you trying to celebrate for yourself? Yes, celebrating that I've found a treasure. He took a sip of wine and leaned in. Xia, actually, there's something I haven't told you. What is it? The draft of that abortion record is with me. I was stunned. What, the document in Su Yao's hand was forged by me. Guchen said it casually. What? I jumped up. Why did you forge that? To test. Test what? To test you, and also to test her. Guchen looked at me, his eyes deep and unfathomable. Even if you really had an abortion, I wouldn't mind, but if Su Yao can produce evidence, that means there's a problem with my security. If she can't and can only come up with fakes, then it's even easier, sue her for fraud. So, you gave her that medical record, you could say that, but it changed hands a few times. She thinks she bought it with her own money. I looked at Guchen, my back chilling. This person is too terrifying. He didn't hesitate to scheme against me just for a test. Don't you think I'm very wicked? Guchen asked. Yes, I nodded. Good that I'm bad. He pulled me closer. In this circle, good people don't live long. I need to make you bad too, so we can last. He kissed me. The kiss tasted of alcohol and blood. I want to push him away, but my strength is fading bit by bit in this game. Who can really stay clean? If being bad means survival, then so be it, even if it means selling my soul to the devil, as long as you can win. Su Yao is finished. The police found her, not because of her rumor-mongering, but because she is suspected of fraud regarding the miscarriage record. Gu Cheng turned around and sued her, and there was also a string of fraudulent businesses she had previously conducted in Su Cheng's name. She was taken into custody at the detention center of Gu Cheng, and I went to visit her once. Behind the glass, she's thinner, her hair is a mess, and her eyes are as red as a rabbit's. When she saw me, she rushed forward and crashed into the glass. Lin Xia, you set me up. It was you. I sat there without moving. It's your own stupidity, I said, taking a fake thing and treating it like a treasure. That was Gu Chen's gift to you. His. She pointed at Gu Chen and screamed. Gu Chen looked at her coldly. Do you have any evidence? I do. I have a recording. Su Yao smiled smugly. Recording. I was taken aback. Had she recorded Gu Chen, that middleman? Let's hear it. Gu Chen remained calm. Su Yao took out an old phone and played a recording. As long as you ruin Lin Xiao's reputation, the 5 million is yours. The voice was muffled, but it was clearly a man's voice. The voice sounded a bit like Gu Chen. I looked nervously at Gu Chen, but Gu Chen just smiled. He took out his phone and played a video. In the video was Su Cheng. As long as you ruin Lin Xiao's reputation, the 5 million is yours. Exactly the same words. Then the camera shifts. Sitting next to Su Cheng is a person. That person is wearing a mask. The mask is removed. It's Su Cheng himself. Is Su Cheng staging this himself? I'm stunned. What is going on here? Su Yao was also dumbfounded. Silly girl. Gu Chen spoke up. You think the backer who gave you that money was someone else? It was your own brother. For 5 million. He randomly found someone to do the voiceover and sold the contract to you. Then you took that contract and caused a scene. He took the money, you took the blame. What a deal. Impossible. My brother wouldn't do this to me. Su Yao shook her head frantically. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Gu Chen stood up. The police are already looking into Su Cheng's account. That 5 million is still sitting there untouched. Guess whether it will be counted as your dirty money or his. Su Yao collapsed onto the ground. Her eyes were vacant. I knew she was truly broken this time. Her own brother had sold her out. This is more brutal than any revenge. Walk out of the detention center. The sunlight is blinding. Did you do it? I asked Gu Chen, just going with the flow. Gu Chen put on his sunglasses. Su Cheng was always a degenerate gambler with no bottom line. I just had someone nudge him a little, and he sold out his own sister for money. Gu Chen put his arm around me. See, sometimes you don't even have to lift a finger against your enemies. They'll just turn on each other. I leaned against him. Suddenly, I feel a bit cold. Gu Chen is a master player. He's playing a very long game. Su Yao is a pawn. Su Cheng is a pawn. What about me? What am I, a queen? Or just another chess piece? Go home. Gu Chen was in a good mood. The night's activities were particularly rough afterwards. He lit a cigarette. Xia, it's time for us to have a child. I was stunned. Child? Yes. Isn't Su Yao spreading rumors that you had an abortion? Let's just have a baby to show her. Let her listen well from inside her prison cell. But what? You don't want to? I touched my belly. In my previous life, in order to marry Gu Chen, I took a lot of birth control pills, which damaged my body and made it impossible for me to conceive. That was one of the reasons he later looked down on me. In this life, my body hasn't been harmed yet. I want to, I said. Then let's prepare for pregnancy. Gu Chen put out his cigarette and held me. This time, I want a son. I'll leave all the family assets to him in the future. He was planning for the future. I was thinking the same thing. With a child, my position in taking care of the family becomes more secure. Su Yao won't be able to turn things around, it's time for me to relax a bit, but fate, as always, refuses to follow the rules. A month later my period didn't come. I bought a pregnancy test, 2 lines, I was over the moon. I rushed into the study with the test stick in hand. Honey, I'm pregnant. Guchen was in a meeting. Seeing the test strip, he was stunned for a moment, then his face lit up with a huge smile. Really? He scooped me up in his arms and spun me around. Great. He was as excited as a child. I laughed along with him in that moment. I was truly happy. All the calculations and all the schemes were forgotten. I was going to become a mother. That evening, Guchen gave me a card. There's 10 million in here. Spend it freely. Buy whatever you want. So many. If it's not enough, there's more. He gives me a kiss. Your only task now is to take care of the pregnancy. Don't worry about the company. I held the card, feeling absolutely delighted. I went to the mall and went on a shopping spree. Baby clothes, formula, a stroller, bought a whole bunch of things. Just as I was walking toward the parking lot with large bags and small bundles in my hands, a black van stopped in front of me. The door slid open, 2 people jumped out and put on masks. Before I could react, a cloth was pressed over my mouth. A pungent smell. I want to shout, but cannot. I want to struggle, but have no strength. Darkness falls before my eyes. I fell down. The last thing I saw was a pair of high heels, red, very high. Then, the car door closed. When I woke up, I had a splitting headache. I was lying on a bed, my hands were tied, my feet were tied. The room was very dark, there was only a dim yellow light. I moved, but couldn't move. Something was stuffed in my mouth. MMPH. I wanted to shout. The door opened. The woman who entered was wearing high heels, red high heels. She walked over slowly and took off her sunglasses. It's Su Yao. How is that possible? Isn't she in prison? Awake. She squatted down and patted my face. MMPH. Su Yao smiled, a chilling smile. Surprised to see me here, she took out a piece of paper and waved it in front of me. Released on bail pending trial. Get it? The Gu family may be powerful, but they're not omnipotent. With enough money, anything can be done. She tore the tape off my mouth. Su Yao, how dare you lay a hand on me? Guchen will kill you. Guchen, no one can save you now. Su Yao stood up and paced around the room. Lin Xia, you've won this round, but the game isn't over yet. What are you trying to do? I'm not trying to do anything. Su Yao suddenly turned around and pulled out a knife, a fruit knife, gleaming. I just want to see if the bastard in your womb is Gu Chen's. I was trembling all over. You're insane. That's Gu Chen's child. Oh, really? Su Yao took out another photo, threw it in my face. I looked down. In the photo, Gu Chen was holding a woman. I recognized that woman too. She was a young model. Gu Chen has someone else on the side. You know that, don't you? Su Yao sneered. I bought these photos. I was going to leak them online, but then I thought, what's the point? Everyone will just say Gu Chen is a ladies' man. She bent down, the tip of the knife pointing at my belly. But what if your child isn't his? What if you're carrying someone else's seed? Tell me, what do you think Gu Chen would do? I didn't. Gu Chen is the only man I've ever been with. That's not for you to decide. Su Yao took out a syringe. Inside was a red liquid. What is this? This will cause you to miscarry, but when it comes out, it'll look disgusting, like a piece of rotten flesh. Su Yao went mad. She really wanted to kill my baby. No, Su Yao, don't. I frantically shrank back. It's no use begging me. I spent half a month in jail, getting bullied by those female inmates every single day. I have you to blame for that. She stepped closer, holding the syringe. Gu Chen won't let you get away with this. He won't find out. He'll just think you had a fall, or that you're in poor health. Su Yao lunged forward. I closed my eyes. It's over, my child. Bang, a gunshot rang out. Su Yao's hand trembled, and the syringe fell to the ground. She clutched her shoulder as blood flowed out. She screamed in agony. I opened my eyes. Standing at the door was a person. Gu Chen. He was holding a gun. Smoke was still rising from his hand. Was this really a gun? Not a toy. Gu Chen walked in, his face ashen, her eyes were murderous. Who gave you the nerve? The low voice made people tremble. Su Yao writhed in pain on the ground. Gu Chen, since you want a miscarriage, then let's first destroy your womb. Gu Chen raised the gun and aimed it at Su Yao's lower abdomen. No. Su Yao screamed. Mercy, please have mercy. Spare you. Who will spare my son? Bang, another gunshot. It hit Su Yao's thigh. Su Yao fainted from the pain. Gu Chen walked over and untied me. I hugged him, trembling all over. Honey, I'm scared. It's okay. Gu Chen held me, but his body was very stiff. He looked at Su Yao on the ground, with not a trace of pity in his eyes, only coldness. Later, Su Yao was sent away, where she was taken, I don't know. Guchen said he had dealt with it. I didn't dare to ask. The baby was saved, but Guchen had changed. He had grown even more silent and even more suspicious. The number of bodyguards at the villa had tripled. I couldn't even step out to buy groceries. Just buy it online, Guchen said. Everything gets delivered to your door. I've become a canary trapped in a cage. The days go by, one after another. My belly is getting bigger and bigger. Guchen is treating me better and better, but that kindness feels like it comes with a sense of compensation, or perhaps atonement. What sin should he atone for failing to protect me, or for something else? One day Guchen went out. I went to the study to find a book to read. I accidentally knocked over a stack of papers on the desk. The papers scattered all over the floor. I picked them up. One of them, it's a DNA test report. I don't understand medicine, but I recognize the big characters on it. Exclusion of biological parent-child relationship. Who is excluding whom? I'm looking at the names below. Client, Guchen, sample A, Guchen, sample B. Unborn embryo, collected from Lin Xia's body. Embryo, how was the embryo collected? I looked further down. The sample C. Su Yao. My mind went blank with a buzzing sound. What does this mean? I carefully read the report's conclusions. Sample A and sample C have a biological parent-child relationship. Sample B has no biological parent-child relationship with sample A, but does have a biological parent-child relationship with sample C. I don't understand. Let me see again. So this means, sample B, that embryo, belongs to Su Yao, and the child I'm carrying is Su Yao's. How is that possible? I thought of Su Yao's syringe. Did she inject me with something? No, she didn't get through, but is it possible that it happened before that? Or perhaps, a test tube? Guchen and I have been trying to conceive, but we haven't been able to do it naturally. I also went to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor said there was no problem. How did I get pregnant later? I took some traditional Chinese medicine for a while, which Guchen brought me. It was said to help regulate the body. Could it be? I remembered some news I had seen before. Surrogacy, having a child through a surrogate. Did Su Yao ever have a child for Guchen? Or could it be that Su Yao is the one? My hands trembled violently as I held the report. The door opened. Guchen stood at the door, looking at the report in my hand. His face instantly darkened. Xia, who told you to touch my things? He walked over, snatched the report, and tore it into pieces. What is that? I asked. Nothing. Trade secret. That's a DNA report. Who is Su Yao? An insignificant person. Insignificant? Then why is her name here? And why is there an embryo? I pointed at the shreds of paper in his hand. Guchen fell silent. He walked over and placed his hand on my shoulder. Xia, you just need to know that you are the only one I love. I will raise this child in your belly as if it were my own. The more he explained, the colder I felt. Not my own. Yes, she is my biological daughter, Guchen roared. Don't overthink it. The doctor said you were a split from identical twins. He's lying to me. He's lying. A split from identical twins. Am I a twin? I was a single birth. What is he hiding? I look at him, this man I have loved for 2 lifetimes now. I think he is a monster. The child in my belly stirs. I touch my belly. What exactly is inside it? I start playing dumb. Since Guchen wants to deceive me, I'll let him as long as I can give birth to it, no matter whose child this is. If I carried it, it's mine. I secretly picked up the torn pieces of paper, piece by piece. I put them back together. Although it can't be fully spelled out, the key information remains. Su Yao, sample C. A thought flashed through my mind. Could it be that Su Yao is Guchen's secret lover, but Su Yao is carrying Guchen's child, yet for some reason, she can't give birth, or doesn't want to, so they found a surrogate. But I married Guchen willingly. If I were a surrogate, how could I not know? Unless there is a form of surrogacy called womb deception, or perhaps, without my knowledge, I underwent some kind of surgery. I recall going to the hospital for an examination after the miscarriage rumor. Guchen said, check if she's a virgin. That examination was very thorough. Is it possible that something was tampered with back then? For example, putting someone else's fertilized egg into my womb. This is too terrible. This is like a horror movie, but I have to believe it, because of Su Yao's syringe. If she wanted to kill the child in my womb, why would she compare herself to Guchen? What if your child isn't his? That sentence is the key. Su Yao knows something. Su Yao is sample C. Is Su Yao pregnant? No. There was no sign of pregnancy when Su Yao was detained. Then there's only one possibility: Su Yao has donated eggs, or perhaps Su Yao has given birth to a child. That child, is it now inside my belly? But how did I become pregnant? I need proof. I sneaked a look at Gu Chen's computer while he was away. I know the password. It's my birthday. I opened the email inbox. Nothing. Search history, embryo transfer success rate, risks of surrogacy with different biological fathers, managing maternal rejection reactions. A few records. I clicked on a link. It was a dark web forum. It was full of jargon I don't understand. But there is a post that has been saved. The title is, How to Make an Unknowing Woman Give Birth to Your Lover's Child, the Perfect Surrogacy Plan. It made my scalp tingle. The general idea is to use a certain technique to implant a fertilized egg into the uterus, while faking pregnancy symptoms, making the victim believe she is naturally pregnant. So this is what happened to me. Am I that unsuspecting woman, that lover? Is it Su Yao? But doesn't Su Yao hate Gu Chen? Why would she be willing to have his child? Unless it's for the money, or to control Gu Chen. I remembered Su Yao saying, "Take back what belongs to me." Perhaps the child was her bargaining chip. Just as I was thinking this, the sound of a car came from outside. Gu Chen was back. I quickly closed the web page, pretending to read a book. Gu Chen came in, carrying a thermos bucket in his hand. "I made some chicken soup for you today," he said with a gentle smile. I looked at him. I felt so disgusted that I wanted to vomit, but I still drank it. "Is it good?" "It's tasty. Drink it while it's hot. It's good for the child." The child, he keeps talking about doing it for the child's sake. It's for Su Yao's child, isn't it? I touch my belly. This child is just a tool. If that's the case, should I abort it? No. I can't abort it. This is my bargaining chip. As long as I have the child, I have the right to negotiate. Besides, I also want to see who this child will look like once it's born. If it looks like Su Yao, then Gu Chen will never have an easy life for the rest of his days. The days return to calm once more. Gu Chen accompanies me every day. I put on an act every day as well, until one day, Gu Chen answered a phone call. His expression changed. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Something came up at the company. I need to go deal with it. Stay home and don't go anywhere." He left soon. A few of the bodyguards also left. There were fewer people in the villa. I picked up my bag and went out. I need to go to the hospital. I need to have a detailed examination. I need to test this child's DNA. No need to use Gu Chen's sample. I want to use Su Yao's. Although Su Yao has been dealt with, I saw her at the detention center. Her things are there. Or, she's still at some hospital. Gu Chen said she was dealt with, not killed. I have a feeling that she is still alive. As long as she's alive, I will find the evidence. I took a taxi to the detention center from last time. I'm here to see Su Yao. Su Yao? That girl transferred away a long time ago. Transferred to where? No idea. Someone from above came to pick her up, said it was for convalescence. Convalescence? That means he's not dead. I'll call the security team leader. Gu Chen brought me to meet him before. "Captain Wang, this is Lin Xia." "Oh, ma'am, what are your orders?" "Help me look up someone." "Su Yao, which sanatorium she's in?" "Well, Mr. Gu Chen asked me to go find out exactly who her accomplices are. Don't tell him that I'm the one checking. This reason is a bit far-fetched, but I'll have to take a gamble." Captain Wang hesitated for a moment. "Fine, it's at Nanshan Sanatorium, but that place is full of the Gu family's people." Please don't go. It's dangerous." "I know, thank you." Nanshan Sanatorium, in the suburbs. I took a taxi. They're arriving at the gate. There are guards indeed. "What are you here for?" "I'm here for a visit. My surname is Lin. Lin, no appointment, no entry. I am Gu Chen's wife. You're President Gu's wife." The guard looked at me. Although I was heavily pregnant, I was wearing designer brands. "Please wait a moment." He made a phone call. After a while, the door opened. I walked in. Villa-style architecture. The environment is very nice. It's just like a resort. So this is where Su Yao lives. A nurse takes me inside. "Madam, please follow me." I followed her. We went to a room on the second floor. The door was open. Su Yao sat in a wheelchair, facing the window. She was gaunt beyond recognition. Her head had been shaved. Bandages wrapped around her head. Were those from the 2 shots Gu Chen had fired? "Su Yao," I called her. She didn't move. "I'm Lin Xia." Slowly, she turned around. Her eyes were vacant. She smiled when she saw me. "Lin Xia, you came to see me make a fool of myself." Her voice was very hoarse. "I came to ask you." I walked over and squatted down in front of her. "That child." Su Yao's pupils abruptly contracted. What child?" "The child in my belly. Is it yours or not?" Suyao looked at me. Suddenly, she reached out and grabbed my wrist, very strong. Fingernails dug into the flesh. Yes, it's mine, she screamed. That child is Gu Chen's seed, and mine. That's what we're going to use to turn things around. Turn things around. You think Gu Chen loves you? He doesn't love you one bit, he just wants a son. But I can't have children anymore, he ruined me. He wants you to have the baby and make me watch, make me suffer. Suyao's face was covered in tears as she sobbed. Lin Xia, don't be naive, you're nothing but a surrogate. Once the baby is born, you'll be useless. He'll separate you from the child, or even kill you. You're full of shit, I yelled. Full of shit or not, you can check for yourself. I have a recording right here. I have a recording of Gu Chen telling me everything. Suyao, trembling, pulled a USB drive from her pocket. Take it, and listen. I was just about to take it. Bang, the door was kicked open and Gu Chen stood at the door, a gun in his hand. Put that down. Gu Chen's voice was as cold as ice. Suyao shuddered with fright, and the USB drive fell to the ground. I picked it up. You knew all along. I asked Gu Chen. I knew you were never one to stay put. Gu Chen walked in and kicked Suyao, who was in a wheelchair. Suyao rolled onto the ground, wailing, Gu Chen, kill me, just kill me, don't rush. Once the baby is born, I'll send you on your way. Gu Chen looked at me. Xia, give me the USB drive. Stop fooling around. Let's go home. Home? Which home? That home built on lies. I stood up, clutching the USB drive. What do you think is inside? Nothing, just some rambling. I don't believe you. I wanted to run, but my legs felt weak. Besides, I couldn't outrun Gu Chen. Gu Chen grabbed me. Don't make me shoot you in the stomach. He touched my belly. His eyes were full of murderous intent. At that moment, I knew he meant it. He would kill me for the child, just like killing the child in Suyao's womb. No, he didn't kill the child in Suyao's womb, because the child that was in Suyao's womb is now in mine. Suyao was a surrogate mother. It failed, so it was transferred to me. I am the substitute. I feel like throwing up. Gu Chen, you're disgusting. I spat in his face. Gu Chen wiped his face. You can curse me, but this child must be born. He supported me as we walked outside. Let me go, let go. I struggled. It was no use. Arriving at the door, a black car was parked. Captain Wang stood beside it, head bowed. It turned out he was Gu Chen's man. I'm sorry, madam. Captain Wang shoved me into the car. Gu Cheng sat beside me. Suyao was also tossed in. Take them back, Gu Cheng ordered. The car drove off. I watched the scenery flashing past the window. Despair, utter despair. Have I become nothing more than a baby-making machine? No, I refuse to accept this. I feel in my pocket. There is a small pair of scissors. I grabbed it casually in Suyao's room just now. It was on the fruit table. It's very small, but it's enough. I look at Gu Chen. He is resting with his eyes closed. The gun rests on his lap. If I stab him now, will I win? The probability is very low, but I can stab myself, or stab my stomach. No, the child is innocent. Then I have no choice but to stab Suyao. No, Suyao is also a victim. We are all playthings of this man. I look at the driver ahead, and there was also the bodyguard in the passenger seat. A direct confrontation won't work. I have to outsmart them. Gu Chen, I suddenly spoke up. I want to eat strawberries, those really big ones. Gu Chen opened his eyes. Now, yeah, I suddenly really want to eat it. For the baby's sake. Gu Chen looked at me. Whatever the child wants to eat, we'll buy. Stop the car. Let's go buy strawberries. The car pulled over to the side of the road. The bodyguard got out to make the purchase. In the car, only Gu Chen and I remained, along with the unconscious Suyao. There is also the driver, Gu Chen. Actually, that USB drive, I've already destroyed it, I said. Gu Chen was taken aback. Destroyed it? Yeah, just now on the ground. I stepped on it. It's broken. Actually, it's not broken. It's in my pocket. I don't want to hear all that messy stuff. I just want to have the child and live a stable life. As long as you don't betray me, I won't betray you. I looked into his eyes, trying hard to put on a look of compromise. Gu Chen stared at me for a long time. The murderous look in his eyes slowly faded. He reached out and patted my head. Be good. It would have been much better if you'd done this earlier. He let his guard down. The gun was holstered back at his waist. Just then, the bodyguard returned with the strawberries. Get in the car. Keep going. I hold a strawberry and eat it slowly. My mind is racing. I want to escape tonight. When I get home, I must escape. I've arrived at the Villa, it's already evening. Guchen had someone lock Su Yao in the basement, then he took me back to the room, eat, finish up and go to sleep early. Guchen went to take a shower. I watched his retreating figure and opportunity. I took out my phone. But there was no signal. Guchen had blocked it. I could only use the landline. But the landline was locked. I walked over to the window. The villa's perimeter wall is very high. It has electric fencing. It has infrared sensors. The main entrance is guarded. How to escape? Suddenly, a commotion comes from downstairs, the sound of a siren. So many sirens. I leaned against the window to watch, red and blue lights flashing. The police are here. Who called the police? My heart skipped a beat. Could it be Captain Wang? Although he takes orders from Guchen, he is, after all, a police officer. Perhaps he still has some lines he won't cross. No, it's not that simple. Guchen walked out of the bathroom, drying his hair. What's going on? He walked over to the window. I watched as well. The police car crashed through the gate. The SWAT team rushed in. Guchen, you are surrounded. Put down your weapons. The loudspeaker blared. Guchen's face turned very grim. Damn. He turned around and grabbed me. Go, take the secret passage. He dragged me toward the back of the bookshelf. The bookcase moves aside, revealing a hidden door. I'm not going. That's the police. I struggled. They've come to arrest me. They know everything. Sia, come with me, as long as we get out of the country. There's a way. Guchen has gone mad. He held on to me tightly. We entered the dark door. It was a passageway, going down, leading to the basement. We passed by Su Yao's room. Guchen opened the door and dragged Su Yao out as well. Bring them all. They all must die. Su Yao woke up and screamed. The passage was very long. At the end was an exit, but outside the exit, there were also police officers. Guchen heard the noise outside and stopped in his tracks. He held a gun to my head. Don't come any closer. I'll kill her if anyone moves. He was shouting. His voice echoed through the passage. Su Yao huddled in the corner. I stared into the dark, hollow gun barrel. Suddenly, I laughed. Guchen, do you really think you can still win? What do you mean? That USB drive. I didn't destroy it. I take out the USB drive. Just now while you were showering. I already sent it to the police. Inside, there are recordings of your conspiracy with Su Yao, the contract you arranged for surrogacy, and evidence of your money laundering. Guchen was stunned. Besides, the police who came just now weren't ordinary officers. They were from the Criminal Investigation Unit. They were sent by my uncle, the mayor. I lied. I don't have a mayor for an uncle. But Guchen didn't know that. Guchen's imposing demeanor instantly crumbled. He looked at me, his eyes filled with disbelief. You lied to me. You lied to me first. I suddenly lowered my head and rammed it into his stomach. Guchen doubled over in pain. The gun fell to the ground. Su Yao lunged forward and picked up the gun. Guchen, go to hell. Bang. Su Yao fired the gun. The bullet hit Guchen's leg. Guchen fell to the ground. Su Yao, as if crazed, fired several more shots. They struck Guchen. Blood splattered out. I was stunned with fear. I wanted to stop Su Yao, but it was already too late. Guchen stopped moving. My eyes are open, staring intently at me. The passage door is burst open. Police officers rush in. Freeze. Drop the gun. Su Yao dropped the gun, knelt on the ground, and burst into tears. I've avenged. I stood there looking at the two bodies on the ground. One is dead. One is crippled. The child in the womb moved. I touched my belly. This nightmare has finally ended. But a new life has only just begun. 3 years later, I walked out of the prison gate. The sunlight was beautiful that day. I was sentenced to 3 years for the crime of harboring. Su Yao was sentenced to 15 years for intentional homicide. Guchen didn't die. He became disabled, but his company was shut down, and his assets were confiscated. He is now in the prison hospital. I am a single mother. The child was born. It's a boy, very healthy, but he looks neither like Su Yao nor like Guchen, like me. The DNA test was done. It really is my child, so there was no surrogacy conspiracy, nor any fertilized egg implantation. All of that was a lie fabricated by Guchen to control me, to drive me to a mental breakdown, and to make Su Yao willingly serve as his pawn. That DNA report is fake. Guchen is completely incapable of fathering a child. The child Su Yao is carrying is actually Su Chang's. Guchen, in order to shut Su Yao up and cover up the fact that he is infertile, set up a scheme. He wanted me to have a child and then claim to the outside world that it was his. By exploiting the conflict between Su Yao and me, he made us tear each other apart while he reaped the benefits from it. Unfortunately, despite all his scheming, he miscalculated one thing, that thing was a woman's intuition and her ruthless drive to survive against all odds. In court, I laid it all out. Though the evidence wasn't enough to convict him of a serious crime, his reputation was ruined, and he lost his family. The taxi is waiting for me. Beautiful lady, where to? To Blue Sky Kindergarten. Got it. I sat in the back seat of the car, looking out the window. The city is still the same city, but the people have changed. My phone rang. It was my mom. Xiaxia, when are you coming home for dinner? Dad bought some fish for you. I got it. Coming right back. Over these 3 years, I've made peace with my parents. When I woke up from that fairy tale of marrying into wealth, I realized that only home is the warmest place. Although my parents are sometimes confused, they truly love me from the bottom of their hearts. Su Yao is gone. Gu Chen is gone. I have grown up too. I opened a flower shop. The business is good. Life is uneventful, but solid. The car is parked at the kindergarten gate. I see a tiny figure, backpack on, standing there. Mommy. He ran over. I picked him up and gave him a kiss. Son, were you good today? Yes. The teacher gave me a little red flower. Awesome. I held his hand and walked home. The wind blew. A bit chilly. I tightened my coat. I remembered that wedding, that cup of hot tea that was spilled. That was the beginning of it all. If I hadn't spilled that tea that day, would none of this have happened? Maybe Su Ya would still feel jealous, and Gu Chen would still scheme. Rather than waiting for death, it's better to strike first. Though the cost was high, I survived. Moreover, living very freely. Mom, I want to eat ice cream. Okay, let's buy 2. Mom is eating one too. Yes, Mom eats 2. The sunlight spills over us, warm and cozy. The flowers by the roadside are in full bloom. I smiled and strode forward. Life still has to go on, and it must be lived better. After hearing this story, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share them in the comments section. I look forward to hearing from you.